Welcome back to the Fine Print. My name is Caleb Teskey. I'm back for a third time with Tim Fair. Thank you so much, Tim, for being here again.
No worries, man. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. We got a little cut off last time talking about the banking piece. I wanted to give you a chance to get back.
Yeah, I did want to get taken as I was shilling for the banks here, because I know that'll be the next thing I read up on the bank corporate whore. I'm trying to explain why there are fees. However, I do not by any means believe that what we have seen proposed thus far is justified or reasonable. The question is what is reasonable, and I think the banks themselves don't know. And this is falling to the same uncertainty that we have. Why I have such stress issues is because we are trying to advise clients to making life-impacting decisions without concrete information. It's like a surgeon going in blind. I'm gonna wear the blindfold today. We're gonna give it a shot. Like that's mortifying to me. I don't want to be responsible for giving somebody the wrong advice that's going to cost them money, or God forbid, cost them. That's like I don't sleep much at night. I care so much about my clients and their success. And so when I see these bank fees on top of, what really got me, I will tell you what really pissed me off was this new background check thing at $475. We had a client get a $1,900 bill.
Where they're outsourcing
tier one outdoor grower.
Checks now?
Background checks is more than double the cost of the license. I mean, that to me, I hit the roof. When I thought about how much time I spent with people coaching them through the process and getting their FBI records to have all that just get thrown out the window. So you had asked me before what the CCB did wrong, the mistakes they made. That was a huge one. Starting that process before getting that FBI authorization, because they ultimately were denied the right to be able to use those. That was a big mistake.
And you have so many clients, so I assume you probably get a lot of phone calls related to these types of issues.
I will tell you, we hired our third attorney in January. We just hired actually this week a new full-time administrative assistant. Christina will be moving into more of a paralegal support role. We're going to be hiring a fourth attorney, and we're moving offices in July. So, we almost, let's see, it was a neighborhood of 40% increase in clients in a 4-month period, all at once. And it was crazy. And we definitely were not expecting that volume. But now it's great because we have the ability now to grow. The new office in Williston, we're going to be sharing it. We're going to actually be Ojo Rojo and VCS will have the same business offices. So, they'll have their own conference room and reception area. Will have be separate, but under one roof. Also for 280E mitigation that we talked about, because VCS can deduct our side and our payroll. So, these are all ways to try to help out with that. But I did want to talk, and I did want to just say that, again, nobody's figured it out in the banks. There's some exorbitant charges in other states. They have cash pickup fees. There's, so how, at VCS, at least Vermont State Police Credit Union said this is, their trial. They're going to see how it goes. If it needs to be adjusted, it can be adjusted. Nothing is set in stone. Is it better to have a percentage? Is it better to have a flat rate? We just don't know yet.
What you're selling, I suppose.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to just go with it, and and hopefully there will be a bank will come in and who will provide at a reasonable cost, whether that's VSCCU, whether that's New England Federal, whether they merge, whether they don't merge. The Bank of Brattleboro, Dan Yates down there, their president, very supportive of the industry. And with New York and New Jersey coming online, I can't help but think that may be the catalyst to see some federal change like the Safe Banking Act, which would not do as much as people think it would do, but it would make banks a lot happier, and we would see a lot more involvement with a lot more institutions. And of course, competition is what drives down fees and prices.
Oh, that's another very interesting point, man.
Yeah,
you're just full of them.
$5 billion transacted between New York and New Jersey in cash only.
So can I ask you a little bit about the business structures of the cannabis companies? What are we doing here? Are we doing LLCs? Are we doing corporations?
This is a great question. And I mean, honestly, man, I've taught a 2-hour CLE on this issue, on these topics alone. It really is a very individualized decision for business entity. However, that being said, for 95% of Vermont businesses, an LLC is perfect. An LLC is a very easy to form, easy to maintain entity. It provides liability protection for the owners. It allows maximum flexibility with adding equity. You got membership interest units. You don't have to register. You're not doing public, with the SEC. It is an incredibly very easy structure for people to be successful with. There are some tweaks to it. It's a pass-through entity. You don't pay taxes as an LLC. It goes right through your individual income taxes. So I think 95% of business. Now, when you start to get some of the larger scale ones, the vertically integrated companies, a lot of times might want to look at slightly different formations. But, it really depends on the individuals, how much their net worth is, how long they plan on holding the business for. What we're seeing is, with dispensaries, sometimes it's smarter to form as a C Corp, because that keeps the tax burden with the company, not onto the person. So if they happen to screw up their 280E accounting, they're not liable for the taxes and penalties. Only the businesses. They can't come after your house, your inheritance, your baseball card collection, whatever.
Yeah.
But C Corps have double taxation. When your revenue comes in, it's taxed once on the corporate level, and then if you take any sort of draw paycheck, it gets taxed again. So you're actually paying taxes twice on a C Corp, whereas with an LLC, it just goes right to your. So there's pluses and minuses of all of them. It really is very individualized. But I would say for most people, if you're doing a grow, if you're doing product manufacturing, if you're doing a small, retail location with nothing else, an LLC is more than sufficient. You just good operating agreement and make sure that all the members really are on the same page. So once you sign an operating agreement, it's like marriage, man. You're in it, and it's when you're gonna fight with one of your co-owners, it's not like you just kick them out and they're gone. They own a percentage of that company.
And that's like the manager owned corporation or something. There's like member owned and manager owned.
Yep, that's good. That's most are going to be member owned. That's when the owners run it. Manager owned is used in two separate types of situations where you have multiple investors who may be out of state and have nothing to do with day-to-day operations. That you may appoint as a manager managed, with the managing members being the people who are actually doing the job. The other place would be if the owners didn't have anything to do with it and they wanted to hire you and pay you $150,000 to run their business. You don't have an equity share. You're not a member of the LLC, but you're in charge of all day-to-day operations. That would also be a manager managed as opposed to a member managed.
Okay, cool. Boy, thanks for explaining that. I'm a little dumb at this stuff. So
no, the word manager has a connotation, and in this connotation, it's not the same. Most people are like, yeah, I'm gonna have a manager manage my LLC. Yeah, I'm gonna be having a manager, and then it's a legal term of art and entity formation where it doesn't mean what it normally means.
Huh.
Wow. Welcome to the law.
Let me ask you, Tim. You obviously have a lot at stake here. Or at least your clients do. You have a lot of clients here, and when retail sale, when we go live here, October, whenever it is, you guys are going to have a lot on your plate, man. How are you planning to deal with that?
I mean, this is why we're moving into our new office, adding, we're going to have now a staff. We're going to go from a staff of 2. Remember Andrew and I, then we were at 4. No, then we were at 3 for a while, then 4. Now we're going to be going up to a staff of 6 and moving into the new office. But there's a big question. I mean, Andrew, I tend to be the optimist. Andrew tends to be the pessimist in our partnership. And, he'll come in some days, he'll be like, we're going to get them all licenses and that'll be it. We'll never make another dollar. That'll be it. They'll be done. Like we're going to get them all licensed and we're never going to see them. I don't think we're ever not going to see him again. But it is a question of how much ongoing work, because we do not have a very highly regulated system, like I mentioned. There'll be some violations and there'll be annual renewals and there'll be employee training. And I think there'll be contracts and there'll be conflicts. I think there'll be enough to keep us as an entity. But because we're not dealing with county and state and all these crazy bylaws like they have in California or Colorado on such a scale, do I ever think we're going to become Hoban Law Firm and have billboards in Times Square? We do a nice middle class existence, and I'm perfectly happy with that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. You said before, it made you feel a little uncomfortable. You got all these clients now, you're gonna make all this money. One of the things cannabis lawyers joke about out west is how it drove them crazy when they saw all their clients start to become millionaires and driving nicer cars and moving to these new houses. And the lawyers certainly weren't. And that's So I felt like getting involved in this industry was a necessity for me. I got $400,000 in student loans. I ain't never paying that back in $1,000 a week.
Damn.
$1,000 a week is great.
400,000. Oof.
Live on it. I ain't at 400,000.
That hurt
That's
me.
where it stopped pre-pandemic. It was originally 260. That's how the interest has grown in over 10 years with me on a plan. So that's, I mean, that I'm never going to be able to pay that back with a paycheck. Ojo Rojo was the idea of mine that came together when I realized I wanted to continue doing what we're doing with VCS, which is fucking helping people. We're not offering or doing anything that people can't do themselves. We're not making a product. I heard we're competing with our clients and we're going to be somebody was trying to tell me, they were like, they were like, we're going to strong arm people into getting shelf space. I don't even get it. All we're doing is picking pot up, putting pot in jars, putting labels on jars and distributing for people. And if people don't want a brand, we're going to partner with a manufacturer to be able to do house pre-rolls for dispensaries that might want a house brand. That's the extent. And we're not even doing that. We're farming out. We package, we label, and we distribute. And if people want to do their own packaging and just want us to help distribute, great.
And so you're going to be working with all local retailers and cultivators.
We're going to streamline the process. We're going to take away the cost of invoicing for people who want to do it themselves. And we have networking lunches every month where we put growers. If we were trying to corner the market or all this stuff I've heard, why would we be introducing people? We encourage people to do it themselves. But
I see your networking events. I've been meaning to make it out to one of those. I just haven't been able to get to one, but
June is going to be in Brattleboro, down Scott Sparks, the Vermont.
You guys go that far south, huh?
I mean, this is a mission. This is a big trip for us. But we feel it's important to try to get down to southern Vermont.
Sure, yeah.
We don't want to make them always come up to Burlington.
Cool.
We've built this. We've tried to build this community. This networking luncheon started with me, Andrew, and two of our clients with brown bag lunches around our conference table. In September of 2018. And it's grown to over 100, 150 people now. We do this because we are encouraging everyone to work together. Ojo Rojo is going to provide a service convenience for those who can't afford it or just don't want to be bothered. That's it. So how that's corner, pushing people or forcing, and we are using our network of connections because we know everybody. So we're going to be able to provide the best service. Our growers are going to have access to the largest amount of dispensaries of anyone because we know more.
And I got to tell you, Tim,
it's going to have the greatest amount of variety because we know them. Of course,
I want to tell you right now, I've been actively looking for someone that fucking doesn't like you, and I can't find.
They're around. Oh, believe me, they'll come out. I don't think Jeffrey Piscatella is a very big fan of mine. But
don't interrupt me. I've talked to a lot of your clients, and they all fucking love you. It's kind of wild because I'm very wary of lawyers. And
I'm not a typical lawyer, man. When a client calls, if I don't get a client call back like that day, it will keep me up at night. I'll wake up at like 1 a.m. and go, shit, I forgot. It is really important to me that I'm not a typical lawyer. I'm not rich. I don't make a lot of money. Everything we make, we put right back into the company. We get daily raises. I do what I do because I love to help people. I love to help people. And before I had a JD and a law degree, nobody listened. That's one thing about us having a law degree. At least people listen to you now. But it really comes down to we've put this together. We want to try now to help facilitate the supply chain, which is going to be a fucking shit show for a year and a half. It is in every legal jurisdiction. So all we're trying to do is provide a service, and we're going to make some money. Yeah, the projections are amazing. But we're also selling equity at $25,000 a point right now. Which could theoretically be worth millions. Like, we're trying to do this so we can actually have people who, can come in.
You're selling equity stakes in your wholesale company.
We are. So 20% is for individual investors, 25,000 a point, and 5% is put aside for employee incentives, employee ownership.
Okay, cool.
Nobody owns more than 20% of the company. We believe in a very horizontal, not a real vertical model when it comes to our businesses, especially with the law firm and Ojo. It's a joint effort. We all work together. There is no you clean bathrooms and you're in the office. You have an idea, share. That we want to make this work for everybody. We're going to make money. Fuck yeah, dude. I've been for my whole life. It's about time. I got student loans to pay off. I do not want to work till I die. I do want to be able to. Do I want to exploit people? Do I need a private jet? Do I want to, rip off the people who I've helped see their dreams get built? Of course not. And we want to be able to facilitate this, make it work for everybody. Yeah, make some money. Fuck yeah. Silberman's opening his dispensary, great for him. We're trying to do something that, not only can make us money, but might be able to help people again.
Is Silverman opening a dispensary?
He is. He just announced it 2 weeks ago. And then
like,
one of his clients came in. He became the investor. They're opening up.
I like Dave. We met a time before, and I thought he was a super nice guy.
I've been friends with Silberman for 4 years. I mean, we started working together on this in 2016, before, right when I first formed Vermont Cannabis Solutions. I was still at my own law firm. We were writing letters together, working on projects. I've always loved Dave. I tried like hell to get him to be my law partner in this. He was semi-retired. He had no interest. He just wanted to do this part-time. Every time I see him, I'm like, you want to come work for me? Not work for me, work with me. Give me a partner, man. I'm fuck that. I love Dave. We send clients to each other. He's very bright, and I trust him implicitly.
Smart dude. Definitely a smart cat.
We get together a lot, and we kind of shoot the shit. When the applications came out, we talked for about an hour and a half going over. So what do you think about this? Because we don't know. So having somebody with that kind of level of understanding of the industry and the work has been really valuable for both of us.
Yeah, listen, Dave, you're not Dave. I'm sorry. You're back. You're Tim. Yeah. Look, how do you stay on top of this with all your clients, with all this constantly changing rules?
It's a nightmare.
Every fucking week, it's something different. We have
a fire bulletin. We try to get out blasts. Then we hear I got too many of those things. Stop sending them all the time. But you don't send them. It's always trying to find a balance, but I'm not pissing our clients off, but keeping them informed. Half the time, I learn about these things from clients because they're watching the legislature every day where I'm busy doing work. So I'll really? 4 o'clock, someone called, be like, they took it out again. I'm like, shit, I don't know. They didn't take it out again. Wow. I've got Marijuana Business Daily in the Vermont Legislature page and the Vermont CCB page, always on background. Oh, shit. That's just what we've had to learn.
That's wild. So you're just hearing about this from clients a lot of the times.
Not a lot of times, but occasionally. Yeah, especially the nuanced changes in the bills as they come out of committees. It's really hard to keep track of. Now, this last few months, it's been a lot better. We had a legal intern we got from Vermont Law School. His assignment was to watch, observe, and then report back daily on every single legislative hearing on cannabis. So for the last 2 months we've had him running. That's been great. That's left.
Nice. Yeah, he's a free intern.
But again, anything that changes in the legislature until it's finalized and on the governor's desk, it could change 3 more times. So it is almost, not worth it keeping track of every single little, path it takes until the final bill. Like we just had 188 go to the governor on Friday, and they merged the House Bill 548 and 188 together. That was the small farming cultivation, and a whole bunch of changes that got merged into one bill. That bill is real. So we were studying that. I was, at the office.
Could you send me that?
Huh?
Could you send me that?
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it
That'd be great, man. I'd love to read that. It's so hard to stay on top of all this stuff.
It is. And you have to know right where to look. And this is not intuitive at all. You actually have to go to the legislative website. You got to search for cannabis, and then you got to know the number of, because it just,
and you're a lawyer. So you're saying this is not intuitive at all.
Once you know how to do it, you know how to do it, but you need somebody to show it, unless you're really, really good with legislative kind of policy, because the text you're looking for, and I shit you not, Caleb, this is actually what it reads: House proposal of amendment to Senate proposal of amendment to House proposal of amendment official. That's why I can't do politics.
That's why I never got. Yeah, exactly. That's why I never got into politics. Because if I had to read that shit all day, I would lose my fucking mind.
They would have me run out on a rail by noon. I wouldn't even make it to lunch. I can't stand the bullshit. Anyway, so yes, this is the new one. I will get this to you. This is what is being delivered as the final bill to the governor's desk, where he is fully expected to.
Tim, can I ask you a couple questions that I had from some of my readers?
Yes, of course.
Cool. I have a buddy up in the Northeast Kingdom who's wondering about people coming to his property, because they were talking about if you have a grow at your home, you can't let people come to your property or something like that. And he has like 20 acres out there where he has a small outdoor grow, and he's wondering about letting people come to his property.
Coming to your property is fine. The regulation is concerning the immediate area of the what they're the cannabis establishment. So that's going to be the grow area. So if it's, if you're choosing 1,000 square foot grow as his measurement, then that would need to be kind of enclosed. It doesn't need to be enclosed anymore. It just needs to be somehow separated.
His
Whatever
driveway
that
is very out in the middle of nowhere. You'd never see it from the road.
Right. And that's what's important. It's not, nobody's looking for technical definitions. They're looking for practical definitions. They want to make sure that, kids aren't running around and it's not accessible to everybody. It's not just for regulatory purposes. I mean, you got to think, we got a serious problem with people stealing hemp. I don't even get you high,
Well,
people
the robbery is a real concern for me personally.
It is. I mean, it should be, because it's what it is stupid, dumbass teenagers who think, I don't know what they think. They're gonna steal some, not mature plants and make $1 million or something. And the age group that makes the worst decisions would not, that's a dangerous situation. I always say anonymity is the best security. I got clients who post, they're grow and they're hundreds of dollars and they're 8K on fucking Instagram and social media. Thankfully, not so much anymore, especially as an offensive.
That must drive you a little nuts as a lawyer.
Nobody should ever know you're a grower.
Yeah.
And if they know you're a grower, they should never know where you're growing. You don't bring people to show it. You don't take pictures. It's not, no, it's a business and it's quiet and it's keep it low. You will never know where Ojo Rojo's warehouse is going to be. Our vans are white and unmarked. We have no signage. We are in a completely nondescript building. You would never know it. You would never see it. You could never in a million years. And that's the way we're going to keep it, because nobody knows it's there. Nobody can rip it off.
And it is, I'll tell you, it is slightly nice now to get some of these interviews with some growers, because like 10 years ago, everyone would have told me to go fuck myself. And they said, yeah, we're not talking about that shit. So it is nice to get those, but I definitely understand, like a lot of people still don't want to fucking talk about that.
Yeah, and again, the stigma's hard. Not everybody's suited for the regulated market, Caleb. There are people who are in the unregulated market who have thrived there, and they're going to continue to attempt to do so. What is the unregulated market going to look like after legalization? I think there's a couple of really good arguments to be made. My personal feeling is I don't think it's going to change much, because Vermonters are not, listen, I'll go to a dispensary and grab a pre-roll before a show, but I'm not buying $75 a weed. Yeah. So, my sister comes up to visit, your aunt's in town and you want to go out and splurge a little bit, sure. But I'm still getting my fucking grow. And I'm getting, we are going to be a tourist-driven market. I've always said that. We got 600,000, 650,000 people. We got home grow. We all know who grows weed. And the unregulated market is going to continue to supply the people they supply now, the real Vermonters. The dispensaries are going to supply the tourists. Tourists have no access to that unregulated market. Tourists are coming in wanting to spend money. They're here on vacation. They want that Vermont den. They want that Harrington ham. They want that $400 condo at Stowe. They're not here to be, cheap out. Vermont's an expensive trip, and they want that quality product. That's where we'll be seeing it, man. And I think the, Vincenti Cedarburg numbers massively underestimated the out-of-state purchasers. They looked at the neighboring states. In my mind, they didn't really account for Vermont's seasonal tourism at all. We've really become a 4-season state. People come in the summer, they come in the fall, they come in the winter, they come in the spring. Right.
As a bartender, I can tell you that you're absolutely right about that.
These people are not going to shy away from paying $75 or $80 an eighth for that Vermont dang small batch. Where I just see it like $3 penny in Montpelier.
I hope it's not that much.
The small batch, and it's done. The cake's done. And that's what it's going to be from this farm. Today's offerings. We got 3 ounces in from Killer fucking Bud Farm in East Bumpbuck, Vermont. It's the best shit you'll ever see. Gone by now. That's
Tim, I'm not going to pay that much, but boy, I've seen Cali Bud selling for $70 an eighth, $75 an eighth when I was in college, and that was fucking 15 years ago.
And you've seen Oregon crash, and you've seen Maine price. Massachusetts held $4,000 a pound wholesale for high-end prime, type A bud for almost 2 years, and they only have dipped down to like 38, and that's with 125,000 square foot grows and no dispensaries in Boston until recently.
That's pretty nice, 38 a pound.
Yeah. Without any large scale grows and without any corporate really, supply for kind of the mids and the biomass and the pre-rolls. This is an experiment, man, and it's going to be great, but it's going to be interesting to see. I really believe that we're going to need a lot more cultivators coming online.
You think so, huh?
I do. I really do.
Even with all these applications rolling it, what are we up at? 600, 700 now?
No, don't get, this is the other big mistake the Cannabis Control Board made. And that was they opened up pre-qualification without requiring the $500 deposit, which allowed anybody and everybody who's ever dreamed or wanted a cannabis license to be able to fill out and send in that pre-qualification application. So you didn't have to pay. You didn't have to really commit anything to it. If they had put up that $500 fee that they were originally going to say that you couldn't submit until you paid that first $500, you would not have seen 600 pre-qualification applications, Caleb. I guarantee. There were 7 applications for integrated licenses that aren't even, like, I mean, people just went nuts with it. So there's nowhere near that volume of, you know, we're going to end up doing just under 100 cultivation licenses when all is said and done through our firm. We estimate that that's probably a third. I think maybe 300 growers, you know, in the initial outlay altogether. Sure. And, you know, and the majority is 1,000 square foot or under. There's small families who want to supplement their income. They don't want to do this full time. They don't want to build a huge facility. They want to grow 40 or 50 plants, harvest 20 or 30 pounds of nice bud, and make, you know, 40, 50 grand every few months. That's a lot.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. It's the fucking American dream. And if you can do it, my God, why not? You know, I mean, this is a really great opportunity for anyone who can grow cannabis.
Growing a plant.
Hard, like my mother rents. She can't find a space. This is right now, my own mother. She has spent, since the pandemic, she could grow some amazing weed.
Your mom's still
up. I got a 5x5, 6 foot tent right now. She can't find, because she's rents in an apartment. It's a place of public accommodation. She doesn't own a home.
Oh man.
She can't find a place to grow. And that's everybody who rents. Every one of our clients that rents is going through the same exact problem. It is incredibly difficult to find a place. And indoor cultivation has been very difficult with zoning. Zoning doesn't know how to zone it. So if they're prohibitionists, they're like, oh, it ain't agriculture. They're growing it inside. It's going to be manufacturing. You know, because there's no clear answer. So indoor cultivation has been one of the toughest to be able to get up and running, to get through local zoning.
You know, which is kind of wild, because outdoor cultivation seems like the hardest real problem with all the mold and the environmental issues.
Again, that's from a, you know, from an operator to growers standpoint. I don't know. I don't have the ability to grow grass. I've never been able to keep anything alive. I can't grow anything. But from a regulatory perspective, outdoor is the easiest because it's farming, it's agriculture, growing crops outdoor. Even the most ardent prohibitionist zoning administrator, they're Vermont farmers at the heart. They're like, all right, you're growing a crop, it's farming. Retail is retail. That's been very easy for zoning coordinators to wrap their heads around. I was thinking they were going to have parking restrictions. I thought they were going to have standalone building restrictions. I thought they were going to have, you know, no apartments. I thought they were going to come out with something like we've seen in Maine and Massachusetts and all the other states. Nothing. Nothing about location, other than if it's good with local, it's good with us. So
but you have to be away from schools and shit like that, right?
Well, so this is another thing the board does. James Pepys does not believe in buffer zones because buffer zones are stupid. The reason that they said you can't have a dispensary within 500 feet of a school is because there's a federal law called the Federal Drug School Act, which it's a federal crime to sell drugs, any Schedule I sold within 500 feet of a school. So therefore, a dispensary who sold drugs that was within a 500 feet radius would be violating that federal law. So in order to just not violate that, they made it the lowest possible. And then they took away the municipality's ability to increase it. And they applied it only to retail, not to any other type of cannabis establishment, which is like, yes, the minimum amount they needed to do to get it passed.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that hurt my brain listening to that story.
Sorry, man. You can tell I don't do this all day, every day. No, I do love this industry.
Look, Tim, I think we should wrap it right here. We got a good 3-parter. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna go to the movies with my girlfriend. We're gonna smoke a big joint and
we're gonna go see.
We're gonna go see Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah, Gretchen, I've been talking about wanting to see that too. Are you going to Essex to the T-Rex?
Going to Williston.
Oh, nice. I can see you like right across the way. I live in Pretty Crossing.
Well, look, I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you for joining me. I'll get these interviews up by tomorrow, man. But this has
Great,
been a very enlightening conversation. I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to.
Let me say, anybody got questions? Anybody wants more explanations? Anybody has any issues or thoughts about what we're doing? I mean, don't just get up on Instagram and start posting crazy. Call me, shoot me an email. I'm very accessible. I may take me a little bit to get back to you, but and if any follow up at all, Caleb, anytime. This has been a blast, man. And I love to get together and smoke a ball one of these days soon, brother.
Beautiful. All right, man. Take care.
Have a good one. Peace.
Oh, that was great.